Welcome, welcome. Hi, Coke. Was that Skaj Simpson? Sorry if I said your name incorrectly. We got Aftershock. Good old Kenton's in the house. Gotta love our Kenton. All right, BiorLabs is showing up here. Awesome. Sun Chaser. Hey, guys. Welcome, everybody. So happy to have you. All right, let's get this introduction on the way here. So for those who don't know, who are just listening for the first time or unfamiliar with THORChain, THORChain is a decentralized exchange that enables you to swap Bitcoin with thousands of other cryptocurrencies, all layer one native tokens, no bridges or wrap tokens necessary, and it's all within your self-custodial wallet. There's no KYC on THORChain. KYC stands for kill your customer. We don't do that. We'll never do that. THORChain is permissionless. THORChain's token is called Rune, and that's spelled R-U-N-E. You do not need to buy or hold Rune to place a swap on THORChain. But the fees deducted from your swap are used to buy Rune, and this is the Rune that goes to liquidity pools and nodes. There are no block rewards on THORChain. 100% of the yield is real. And THORChain is deflationary, with 5% of all rewards are swapped to Rune and burned. THORChain has another token. It's called TCY, Tango Charlie Yankee. This token is like a preferred stock where 10% of the protocol's revenue goes to these token holders. If you deposited crypto into savers or took out a loan on THORChain, make sure to claim your TCY tokens and you can start collecting this yield. And anybody can buy the TCY token as well. To swap on THORChain, go to thorchain.org and click the swap button, and it will redirect you to our swap interface. New features and functionality are being added all over the place. Let Kenton give an update if he thinks we need one. But we also had Memless, which is called Cold Swaps last I checked. It might change the name, but basically you don't need to connect your wallet to do a swap. Really, really, really cool. Ruggira is building decentralized Binance on THORChain smart contract layer and is being rolled out as we speak. So keep an eye out for that. And also, guys, speaking of Binance, if you hold Rune on a centralized exchange, you should get that stuff off of there and withdraw it into self-custody, because these tokens could be used to short sell Rune and drive the price down on us. Once in self-custody, you should look into bonding your Rune, and a really great interface to do that is runebond.com. All you need to do is choose a node, request a whitelist, and then you can bond your Rune. It is straight yield. It's really awesome. There's a THORChain community Discord and Telegram where you can join to learn all about THORChain and make lots of friends. To find the links, go to @THORCommunity, THOR community on X. One last time, guys, let's repost a space. Let's get some people in here, whether you're listening live or the recording. This is going to be awesome. We're going to be talking to BiorLabs today. Real quick before we get to the show here, got a little laundry I want to talk about. I want to shout out congratulations to the devs for some really smooth churns. Our last churn, I think it lasted like 5 hours, which is fantastic. Well done. And I think we're now up to 109 nodes. So we're 11 away from being at our cap. Really, really good stuff. I love it. All righty, let's go ahead. My name is Denny. I have another account, Patriot Sounds. Been talking, educating, promoting content creator for THORChain, I think 5 years now, so I have to FK. Pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and kick it to my co-host, Kenton. How you doing today?
Good, thanks, Patriot. My name's Kenton Ralph Toes. I have a fund that invests in Rune and runs nodes on THORChain, and so I'm a node operator and bond provider. And I'm also running THORChain's marketing team now. And you brought up the swap interface. Yeah, we're hoping to go live yesterday. They're still ironing out bugs, working on this weekend. So hopefully next week. I keep getting it's an any day. It's always should be any day. Is the update I keep getting from the devs. And this updated interface is much better than the current one. The flow is much smoother, much more intuitive, and yeah, it's a swap idea. I don't think it's going to work. And the more I think about it and talk about it, is like I think we just call it swapping. Like this is just you swap on THORChain, and your ability to not connect a wallet is part of the flow, part of the feature. So that's kind of where we're at right now about how to try to sell it and explain it. Is like just come and swap on THORChain. You can use any wallet, and it's just obvious kind of how to do it when you go through the UI. Yeah, that's probably a good enough update for me.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we're guys, here we go. We have BiorLabs. BiorLabs, you want to check your mic real quick?
Hey, hey, how's it going?
Is going very well. So, hey, we want to just give you the floor. Just let you go. What is BiorLabs? What do you do? What do you offer? What are your plans? Could you give us an introduction?
Yeah, for sure. So, BioLabs is the project behind the Be Your Vault app, which is an app going live on App Store and Google Play really soon now. Everything is pretty much good to go. We're at the final stage of testing. And yeah, the Be Your Vault app, which is developed by the Be Your Labs team, is pretty much a non custodial wallet, which over time is planning on supporting 50 plus chains, cross chain swaps, obviously through THORChain protocol, which we have been working with for a while, and yeah, it's also going way beyond just being a non-custodial multi-wallet, multi-chain wallet. It's also aiming to bridge Web 2 and Web 3 to make users being able to spend their crypto as cash directly from prepaid debit cards, and also on ramp, off ramp, send and receive all of these like crucial DeFi features, mixing it into to bridge the gap between Web 3 and Web 2 and make it interact with the real world as kind of like a neobank, but but based on a decentralized infrastructure, 100% from from the scratch.
Fantastic. And apologies for bungling your name. It's not BioLabs, it's BiorLabs. I'm sorry. That just is just highlighting my
Yeah,
my very low IQ. So I do apologize for that. So
nah, that
uh,
was good. That was good.
well, I put some resources up top, guys. Their pinned comment and some various. So definitely give them a follow and check them out. Kenton, do you have anything you'd like to start with by asking them?
I'm just curious, Hassan, about your background in crypto. How did you what's your journey been like, and how did you come up with BR Labs? You know, what were you doing before, and what led to you starting it?
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, just to elaborate, the guy behind the mic here on the BR Labs account is Diedrich, and I'm the co-founder together with Hassan. Hassan is not available right now, but I'm jumping in here to yeah to give everyone the full overview about BR Labs and the BR Vault app. So yeah, our background is actually we're originating from the THORChain community actually. So back in 2021, we worked quite actively within the THORChain community. So we know THORChain in and out, and every detail of the protocol, how things started, how things have been developing, and we out of we out of everyone understands how amazing the technology is, and just the in like the infrastructure and the financial implications this have for just the world economy as a whole and for the future. We know that for sure, and that's like probably the number one reason why we wanted to establish Beer Labs and develop the Beer Vault app, because we know that the future of finance is definitely built around this omni-chain true DeFi protocols where everything is non-custodial. You own the keys, you own the coins that you hold. You can swap it between chains. You can send you can send and receive funds across chains, and we just know that like with THORChain as it exists today, THORChain also definitely need like these easy user experiences like a neobank just under the hood. Usually no one knows that THORChain is working there behind the curtains, but we have seen so many projects doing that, and we've seen like the value of this. So that's why we wanted to take this to the next level and basically create. So the initial idea was to create a bank utilizing this technology, so it can be even more in the hands of like real world consumers and not just isolate everything on chain, right? Because we see that like within short time, on chain transactions, and especially what THORChain offers, that will fit in the real world really soon. And yeah, through BiorLabs and BeerVault, we are aiming to do that.
So this is all built on Beer Vault. That's the linchpin to all this. So what is Beer Vault? Like, how does that work? And yeah, do I have to? Is it like you have like two different apps? One's Beer Vault, one's Beer Labs, or how do they work
Yeah,
together?
now BiorLabs is just a project like that. That's the organization that is established and all that. And then we have developed this product, which is in a mobile app. So BeerVault will be like what everyone is downloading from App Store and Google Play. BiorLabs is just the team behind it. So that's just about the confusion with the names and all that. And we actually started off with the name Be Your Bank, like in Be Your Bank, but we have been working closely with the legal team, and we made a decision to rebrand to BioLabs and rebrand the actual wallet to Be Your Vault because of quite limited like marketing opportunities. If you are like branding yourselves as a decentralized bank, that comes out with a lot of restrictions. And now that we rebranded, we are dodging those restrictions. And because, like, in a sense, Be Your Vault is like, you can say it as a vault that is like everything is 100% on chain, 100% decentralized, 100% non custodial. You own all of your keys, and you own all of your coins on any chain that is on the app. But essentially, you can say it's like a decentralized version of Revolut. That's how it would work in practical terms, and that's exactly what we have aimed to create. So in terms of user experience, functionalities, it will you will feel a lot of these similarities from using Revolut, just in a decentralized way.
So you are going to have fiat on and off ramp in like all different currencies, and they be
Yeah,
available in all different countries. Like, how does yeah?
yeah.
I mean, like, will
The,
people have to KYC to access fiat, right? So how will all that work?
yeah, so we originally we are not allowed to market this, but since because you're asking, we have developed solutions where users can actually um, spend crypto without KYC, because we have another structure for the debit cards than any other project are doing, which comes with a limit of so inside of the US it's and Canada it's $1,000, and then you can buy multiple cards. So it's not like a top up. You just buy a card and it works like a gift card, and you can off ramp and you can spend the funds on whatever you want. And in Europe and and all other countries, it will have a limit up to $4,000 a month. So that's how it essentially works there. And when it comes to on ramp and off ramp, we will not require KYC for on ramp, but for off ramp, we do require KYC, but not for spending your crypto or off ramping the crypto to cash and spend it with the debit card that we are offering, and also not with the on ramp. But when it comes to multiple currencies and all that, we that's something that we have for a long run. But as of now, we don't do wire transfers and swapping between currencies, because we all of these solutions there are requiring KYC as of now, and we want to be the solution that is decentralized and that is like the more free solution. So therefore, we have for now focused on spending with debit cards, on ramp and off ramp, and all of the DeFi functionalities that we have already integrated, like the whole wallet infrastructure, swaps with THORChain, etc.
So for the debit card, Do I have to wait for a physical card to be mailed to me, or do I get like a digital card that I can put on Apple Pay or Google Pay or something, and then use tap to use it?
Yeah. Yeah. So upon launch, it will just be a virtual card. We are planning on like having these exclusive benefits for like the top users and all that who can get a physical card if they want to. But essentially, it's a virtual card. And to begin with, now that we are going live in the upcoming weeks, it would not include Apple Pay and Google Pay to begin with. So it will just be a card that you can register wherever you want, and you can pay directly by just inserting the credentials there that is on the card, just like any other Visa or Mastercard. It's actually a Visa card that's the card that we are offering. But in the upcoming weeks, we will also open up for the support of Google and Apple Pay. And Google Pay will go first, and then Apple Pay will come a little bit later. But we are working hard on getting these features out as soon as possible. But at launch, it will be only as a debit card where you can spend it how you want online, but not with Google Pay and Apple Pay from the get-go.
Okay, so Canada and the US, you said each card is limited to $1,000, but you can get multiple cards. So could I get like 100
Yeah,
cards or 100,000? Like I could just keep going, just getting a new card over and over and over again,
exactly.
and then after I spend $1,000, can I recharge that same card back to 1,000, or just once I spent 1,000 is done, I have to get another card anyway?
Yeah, that. So that's the main difference between us and all other debit card providers in the crypto space, where they require KYC and we don't, because what this essentially works as, even though it's Visa and all of that, we have built a solution here with partners as well that is it's working like kind of a gift card. So therefore, you fill up the card and you spend it, and when it's fully spent and it's empty, it will expire, and you will just purchase another card. And it's just as easy as topping up a card. It's like the user experience that we have created is so seamless and so easy. It's like you do like three steps. You choose the crypto that you want to pay with, you select your region, and you just click pay, and then you have the card ready, and then it's ready to use. So even though it's not a top up card and you buy multiple cards, it will feel like you're topping off cards, just like what you used to do.
So in Europe, you said you're limited to $4,000 a month. Did I hear that right? So you can only do like one
Yeah.
card for 4,000 each month.
Yeah, for now it's that's the limit. And then you can purchase another one. So yeah, that's how it works. So because there are different rules for the different jurisdictions, so that's why we are offering two different kind of cards. So there is one international card, which is excluded the US and Canada, and then you have just a card for US and Canada, which has some different rules and yeah, different rules that we need to align with, and yeah, like based on the jurisdictions. But yeah, in the end of the day, it shouldn't be too different when you are spending. And also, we are working on like making this as flexible as possible as we go.
So
And now,
the
actually,
oh,
Hassan is coming on here as well. Yeah, you're here.
so the
Yeah, just continue.
the $4,000 limit per month, that's for rest of the world. So like Africa, South America, Asia, the unbanked areas, they Russia, they're all going to be limited to $4,000 a month then.
Yeah, as long as there is not they are not within the like sanctioned countries, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have a list of sanctioned countries that are not where you're not able to purchase the card from. But yeah, that's just a like a part of the list that we have with all of the restricted countries.
Okay, yeah, of course. Um, So is your goal then to just be strictly no KYC the whole time, or eventually you might create an offering where, okay, if you want like higher limits on the card, you'd fine, but you'll have to KYC. Are you open to that? Are you thinking about it? Or are you like, no, hands down, we don't want to touch it. We want to do everything no KYC.
It kind of depends on like what the market wants, but because we definitely seen like there are projects out there who do offer debit cards with KYC and higher like a higher spending limit and all of that, and we definitely see a market for that as well. And I'm pretty sure that like down the road and in the long run, we should be able to find our way through like higher spending caps as well, and also other solutions if you want to do KYC that you can have higher spending for sure. So, but as of now, upon launch, this is what we will be offering, and then we will, because one of the most important parts of our launch will be to um, gather feedbacks from the app. And if everyone will say, "Hey, we would like higher spending limit. We don't care about KYC," we will definitely integrate a solution for that. That's out there already. That's nothing new. But the solution that we are currently integrating here, we will be the first project ever, as far as I know, to be able to offer this for users. Because this should be like the real DeFi user experience, right? It's still DeFi, but you're also bridging the DeFi experience and user flow and everything into the real world, where you can actually spend DeFi. So all other solutions here is like semi banks. Is nothing. It's not really that different from a bank, right? Because bank require KYC. You will be able to spend the cash. It's just that it's easier to offer in crypto, but it still takes away this um, this notion of having the free will, having the decentralized model at the core, right? Because that's the ideology that we were all following, right? And that's why we wanted to make this possible for the DeFi user. And we also know that from the THORChain community, we know there's a lot of DeFi degens here who would really appreciate that kind of solution that we are coming up with right here. But obviously, if it turns out that after we have gathered a lot of user feedback and all of that, people want to have a solution with higher spending cap and KYC, we will definitely be able to integrate that for sure. It's just not the top priority as of now.
Sorry, I do
Yeah,
also want to add
gotcha.
something.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's about the physical cards, because currently the cards we're going to have are only going to be digital. And I've been talking lately a lot with our provider, and from what I understand, the physical cards may or may not have like a mandatory KYC. And that would be one option where, hey, look, if you want a physical cards, you will have to KYC. And those will definitely have like, they will play with different rules and different limits. But yeah, when it comes to the main digital cards, and these are going to be the first cards we are going to have in the app, it will be no KYC. And yeah, there will be an IP ban list. This is like mandatory for us just because um, we simply have to integrate them for regulatory purposes. And yeah, that's all what I wanted to add. I also wanted to mention a little bit, like in the last AMA we did, we sort of forgot to mention that in the beginning, and now since the meeting just started, I'd like to mention it again. For anyone listening who would be interested, we are currently hiring for devs. Mainly, we're looking for security devs. So if you're interested, feel free to DM me on my private account or on the account of Diedrich. Well, on the BiorLabs account.
Hassan, did you see the message in the group chat on Telegram? I connected you with the Unstoppable devs. And they might be
Let
interested
me
in
check.
helping you.
Nope. All right, let me look into it. Give me a second.
Yeah, they might be interested in picking up some work. So reach out to them.
I have a question.
Sorry, it's from which account?
Go ahead.
It was my personal Telegram account. We were messaging the other day, and then I added
All
you
right,
to a
good.
group chat.
I'll find it.
There's a group chat between me, you, and Ibec, and yeah, I'll pause it here. I'll go say hi so you can find it and bring it to the top of your list.
While they do that, we have a question here. Let me 1 second. Let me read. Okay, so we have a question from the community member. They want to say, they're a little concerned. They want to know how much personal data does it use from your phone and App Store profile info. And additionally, if the physical cards require KYC, sounds like they get their info on the digital card in another way, like your wallet ID or something. Would you like to address that?
Yeah, so essentially one thing is we personally, as like the user interface, we do not collect any data. That's number one, and we have it in our privacy policy. The only data we collect is like KPIs, like for example, the volume that we do. We collect like when someone does a transaction, we have an event based KPI. It's just a trigger, and we have a counter that does like +1. So we don't collect any data whatsoever. As for our provider that we are working with, they collect only for like when you create the account. They told us that we need to collect an email, and that is only for uh like purposes of restoring your account. Like for example, if you lose your cards or if you lose your seed phrase, you would have to contact us and be like, hey guys, I lost my account and I need to be able to reclaim my card. And they told us it's because of regulatory purposes. They need to have a sort of a backup feature where you can get your cards back, right? And the thing is, our provider, they did not offer the option of like create your account with your wallet, right? This was us. We're like, okay, let's make it very like simple because we don't want to collect any data. And so basically the user would sign a transaction, and the wallet that they used to connect to that, like the wallet they used to sign the transaction is going to be connected to their cards. And then in the future, when they want to like let's say you re-download the app, you just add your wallet back, and boom, the card is back. You don't need to add any email, nothing. The email this is the only other information we're gonna ask. And once again, it's only used for like 2FA purposes, right? Two-factor authentication. Like if you give an email from like your random provider, you can even give a fake email. It doesn't even matter. We don't check. We don't ask for verification code. This is entirely up to the user if they want to give a fake or real email. For us, it's just for 2FA purposes. We're doing our part of the job. And then if you lose access and you decided to use like a fake email, like it's not our problem, right? Then we can't be blamed for that because we gave you the opportunity to put a 2FA email. But yeah, for the data collection, once again, I mean, the reason why it's non-KYC, it's because these are not like the same cards, right? The the KYC cards that you have, like for example, from your bank or from these other crypto apps, they are sort of like, how do I put it? They never expire, right? These are real debit cards. They never expire. And you can essentially have also the physical version. For us, the non-KYC cards, they're digital versions. And although coming soon, they will work with Google and Apple Pay. And both of them have an expiry date. One of them, I think it's like 2 or 3 years. And the other one, the North American card, it expires after, I believe it's 4 months. So both of them have expiry dates. And for the USA cards, sorry, the North American card, that's like for Canada, USA, I do want to mention that that card also, the limit is 1,000, not 4,000. The 4,000 is for the international card, although both cards work with every merchant in the world, right? So when we say the card is North American, it just means that if you want to create it, you need to be in North America to create it. Meanwhile, the other card, if you want to create it, you need to be in outside of Canada or the USA. It's about creation. These are the limitations we put. So yeah, I just wanted to add these clarifications. And these clarifications are important because they explain how we can maintain a non-KYC infrastructure, because these are not normal cards. And if you look into it, all the providers who have non-KYC cards, you're going to figure out that they all play by the same rules as us. And also you will find out that we offer the best rates. Just wanted to add that.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick, so okay, I've never done anything like this before. Besides like buying a gift card in like Walmart or another superstore, like I've never done this before. So, I'm kind of new to this. So I just want to just ask a few simple questions, and I'm sorry if this is boring, but so basically what's happening is I am purchasing what is a gift card from your interface, right? And it's a one and done thing. So if you have $1,000 gift card, if I do $400, that's what's going to be worth, right? Like, or can you like, so it's a purchase, right? So at when I like, let's say I do $400, could I then add $600 later, or is it just like a one and done event? I have to get another card.
Yeah, so it depends because we have two cards, right? The North American card is very regulated and we're not allowed to do anything else. So for the North American card, it is a one-time purchase. You purchase it one time and you cannot refill it. And we charge like a $1 or $1 fee, and there is no other fees. Like for example, every time you spend from it, there is no fee. So the North American card, because it has so many limitations, we only charge a creation fee and that's it. You pay like $1, it's over. You don't pay again. And yeah, like you said, you buy it once, you can't reuse it. However, for the international card, it's a completely different story. For this card, you can just reuse it or refill it. Every month, you can refill it up to $4,000. And yeah, you can spend anywhere, everywhere. We do have a list of blocked places where you can spend, and the reason we do this is because there are specific places where if like people are known to like commit fraud, right? And we have to block them because if we don't block these spaces, we can bring unwanted regulatory attention to us, and then we are banned from offering these cards to everyone, right? Just because we didn't want to ban a couple of locations. So there is a couple of locations that are banned, but those specific locations, we can bring them, we can reopen them with specific cards. Like, for example, I'm just going to give an example. This is not real, but let's say one of these locations is Airbnb. We can eventually just create Airbnb cards and be like, this is the card specifically for Airbnb since Airbnb is banned, right? That would be the solution. And I did want to add also, there's like, okay, you can only purchase the cards, you can't refill it for the North American card. So what's the solution there? Well, you can create up to 30 cards per month, right? So you can create a card every day and you can then spend from that card.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So another question I have is this is strictly fiat, so your bank to card. You can't do like a lateral blockchain where you take like $1,000 in, I don't know, USDC and then convert that into a gift card, or can you?
Well, okay, so let me clarify something. This is not a bank feature because once again, we're not a bank and this is not a bank feature. So what do I mean? When you go to the shop and you purchase a gift card, you're giving the guy cash and he's giving you the card. The way it works is the provider, like in the back end, the way it's going to work is it's not like a bank account, a traditional bank account where you have an account on your name and you put money inside of it, right? This is not how it works. The way these cards work is you give money to the provider, and the provider is basically saying, okay, you gave me money. Now on this card, you can spend that money that you gave me. That is mine. And basically, for the North American card, for example, if you don't spend that money, the provider cashes it in as profit. In fact, the North American cards are literally non-profitable, right? They're unprofitable for the provider. That's what they explained to us. And they said the only way they can be profitable is if the person leaves some unspent money after the expiration date of those cards for the North American cards, right?
Sure.
And sorry, can you repeat your question?
Yeah.
I sort of forgot. And
No, yeah, don't worry. And I definitely wasn't accusing you of being a bank, but my question was, is this strictly fiat to gift card, or can you do blockchain?
Oh, we don't do fiat to gift card. We do not do fiat to gift card. It's entirely crypto to gift card. Like you do USDC, Bitcoin, Ethereum, entirely crypto. There's no fiat involved whatsoever.
Oh, I thought this was a fiat on ramp. I must be
Nope.
horribly confused. Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
we have a fiat on-ramp solution. We have an on and off-ramp solution. The on-ramp solution where you want to buy crypto with fiat is going to be entirely non-KYC. But for the off-ramp, we like, because of regulatory purposes, we are required to offer KYC. I mean, we tried very hard to find a good provider, but we couldn't for the meantime. So off-ramp will be the only thing in the app that will require KYC.
Okay.
But yeah, for the cards, it's only crypto. Like you're gonna buy the cards with USDC, with BTC. So that's why I say these are very private cards. They're very privacy friendly because if you have, let's say, a non-doxed wallet, somehow you have a wallet that is not doxed and you want to buy one of our cards, you can do so, and we will collect no information about you. And if you want to put a fake email for the 2FA, entirely up to you. We don't check that. So you can put a fake email. You will have a private card. However, I do have to warn that for the transaction, our provider, I do believe they have a list of all the transactions done. I mean, I think it's required by the law. So I could check that, but I'm pretty sure the answer is going to come up as yes, because that's like all gift cards, they have to do that.
Okay, so just to be super clear, so my small brain can understand. So you're going to the fiat on ramp is you take fiat, you're buying crypto, and then you use that crypto to put on the gift card. Is my understanding correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, perfect. And do you charge a fee for that? What's the fee for the fiat on ramping to the crypto part? Because I know there was $1 for that for the specific card in North America.
Yeah. Well, basically it depends. So, well, also, by the way, for both cards, when you create the cards, we will run promotions where like, okay, your first card is free on us. But for the other cards, as soon as you create one card, the second, the third, the fourth, they're all going to cost like $1. And it also depends, not exactly $1. I think it's like 1% with minimum $1. So we will have, by the way, all the numbers are on our website. If you go in the FAQ, the numbers are on our website. The thing is, I did not memorize them because they have been going through some changes, but the ones that are on the website are like the final numbers. So if you really want to get the exact numbers, you can go there and you'll see it's a very good rate. But sorry, can you repeat your question again? Because we keep changing the topic or talking
No
about
worries.
all this information, and then I forget about the question.
It's okay. Just the fee for the fiat on ramping part to buy
Right,
crypto.
right. So for the fee, it's gonna depend on what you use because we are gonna support like credit cards, debit cards, any kind of version you want to buy with. And by the way, for anyone who might be curious, no, you will not be able to use our gift cards to on-ramp. Like this is 100% banned. This is like the number one way of to do money laundering. So it's definitely banned. We're not going to allow it. Um, but for the, I don't remember exactly the fees because, like I said, it's very different. Like we support way too many different on-ramp methods. There's like wires, credit card, debit card, ACK, all these different things for every different countries. It's like a giant list, and the fee number is different on every single, like from every single country on every single different like method of on-ramping. So there will be a public list, but I couldn't give you any numbers. All I will say is we have competitive numbers. Like you won't see us charging more than like, let's say, MoonPay that is being used on Trust Wallet or the versions that are being used on MetaMask. Like we are going to charge the market rates.
Okay, I have one last question and then I'll kick it back to Kenton. So, what if I buy a card, right? Like $400, whatever, doesn't matter. And I go to use it and there's a problem. How does someone, is there a way for people to say, hey, what's going on with my gift card? It doesn't appear to be working. You know, is there a customer service outlet for these people?
Yeah, so actually, I really like that you asked that because I totally forgot to mention it, but it's actually one of our like most cool features, in my opinion, is that in our app we have live customer service. It's the same way as, I mean, it depends on where you live, but for example, me in Canada, we have in the app you can just go and you can text them, and then you have live customer service. And it's very cool. I thought, like, why do crypto apps never have this? Like, you need to open Discord, join a server, open a ticket, and it's like, what if someone never doesn't use Discord? And it's so like unpleasant to have to go in a different app separately to get your customer service. So inside the app, one, we have an AI that we have been training with the information, and the AI is also trained to connect you with a real human, similar to Amazon or other customer service bots. If you're familiar, you basically talk with them. If they can't solve your problem, you're like, hey, can you put me with a real agent? He's going to put you with a real agent and we'll be able to provide support. Now, the thing is about I did want to add for the on and off ramp, we have a separate customer service where our provider is directly connected with our users. So this one is even like superior because you're directly going to talk to our providers from the app, right? I mean, how many apps offer that? And for the cards, we are trying to build a similar solution, but for now, for the time being, it's going to be with us, and we will speak with the provider to like figure out the issues. But at some point, we also want to make it so you're directly connected to the provider. And then we have the general customer service of the app, which is it is by us. We answer your questions and we help you fix your problems.
Okay, Kenton, I'll kick it to you, buddy.
Sorry, my screen locked up. Yeah, I have a question about the debit card's billing address. You know, if you want to buy something online, you have to provide a billing address. So does the user have to come up with an address? Do they have to use their own address? Can you use whatever? Is there no address? How does that work?
Yeah, so I actually received the documents from our provider the other day because I was like preparing for this AMA, and I actually read about that. And it said that if the basically you want to buy something and it's mandatory for them that you put an address, you can put a generic address of the area. And the example they showed was like Mexico, where they picked a random generic address and the card is gonna work. Um, we will have like a full documentation answering all these specific questions because we know like these are like common important questions for you to be able to use those cards. So we will have a help center with all the documentations explaining it. And yeah, generally you just put a generic address and it's gonna work.
Cool. And then who are you using for your on and off ramp? Are you using like Banksa or MoonPay or someone like that? Like a third party?
Yeah, we are using a third party. We recently purchased like a white label solution because we didn't like the way it looked, and for us, the user experience is very important. So we're building it now directly into the app, so it feels like more native, and so it's easier for people to use. But yet, we wanted to still maintain third-party customer service, right? So they can directly talk to our provider.
So is this like through an OTC desk then, or like a small crypto brokerage?
No, it's similar
Yeah.
to MoonPay. It's just another
Oh,
provider.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
With lower fees, though. Yeah, we're charging lower fees than MoonPay.
Okay. So do you is there a reason you don't want to tell them? Like you want to keep that under wraps who you're using, or is it like, yeah, is that like a proprietary thing?
No, it's just, well, let me put it this way. I don't understand sometimes why in crypto, all of these projects they go out and they say publicly, this is our partner for this, our partner for this, our partner for that. And it's like you're basically just telling um like basically your competitors who want to recreate what you're building to easily be able to take those same contacts. And we understand that as a startup, we don't have as much leverage as all of those big projects. So we don't want to just go out here and when they see our product and they'd want to recreate it, we don't want to make it easy for them. Not that we're worried because we know that we have a different selling point, but I still don't think that as a professional business, we want to be going out and publicly saying this is our partner for this and that for every specific feature. I think it's better to keep it private.
Okay, yeah, good answer. Okay, so do you view this debit card being like your guys' main value add, main feature? Like I think you mentioned earlier you can't really advertise this, but because I asked, you can talk about it. This seems to me like this would be a big deal.
Well,
Yeah,
sorry,
go
let
ahead.
me clarify something. We can definitely advertise it and talk about it, and we have many campaigns aimed at advertising the cards. The things we cannot advertise is specifically that they're non-KYC. Like we can't go out advertising, hey, this is a non-KYC card, come buy it, right? We can't do that. However, we can advertise the cards. And the funny part about the cards is initially we didn't think they would be our main product. We thought the main product is a really cool self-custody wallet with all of these different features, and the main product would just be essentially being able to swap and to do all of the Web3 stuff. And then it turned out that our community was way more interested and excited with the cards. And whenever we mentioned the cards, it moved the chart way more. And, before we realized, they were like, okay, I guess this is our main product. This is what gets people going. This is what is really interesting people. So it has become sort of the main product now where we are putting more attention towards it. And yeah, we can definitely advertise those cards. There's nothing wrong with advertising them. We just need to follow very strict rules to make sure we're not like breaking any laws or attracting unwanted regulatory attention to us.
Yeah, but I also wanted to mention there that the Bior Vault app will So the main thing here is not the card is like an exceptional like end product for like using the app and all of that, but we are actually covering the whole user, what do you call it, like user travel experience if you are in DeFi, right? Because you can either you can go an on ramp into the Bior Vault app, and you can swap to whatever crypto you want to hold. You will also have your own address. You can send it to wherever. You can use the built-in web browser that we will be launching a little bit after the main launch as well. It's the entire experience. We wanted to create something that makes it so you don't need to actually exit the app. You can have everything that you need in a mobile app. So in DeFi, you won't need anything else because you will have the like 50 plus blockchain addresses, and you can even add your own coins and all that. You can swap cross chain through THORChain. You can send to wherever you want. You can spend crypto with a debit card. And also we will start integrating DeFi yield strategies and all of that. So what we're aiming to build here is like a complete wallet for DeFi, and also bridging to Web 2 and actual spending and usage. So that's like the main idea that we had about it. Because like when we are using Revolut, you can do any financial service there, and you can toggle around, you can do stuff, you can on ramp, off ramp, buy crypto, all of that. We wanted to provide that Web3 non-custodial experience where you actually own your coins, and it's a lot cheaper, a lot less fees, and it should be even easier. Like in my opinion and Hassan's opinion, Revolut doesn't even provide like that good of user experience. There's a lot of toggle back and forth, and we firmly believe that we can do it better but decentralized. So that's the main thing. And yeah, obviously the card is a huge bonus because it's a game changer. So yeah, but the main idea when we wanted to create this app was to provide that user experience in DeFi, because that's really rare. You have Coinbase, you have crypto.com, all of that. Crypto.com is like, it's not my favorite app when it comes to like user interface, and it's also really confusing and all that. So why don't just bring on the best possible user experience but still keep it 100% decentralized? Because that's the, like, as I mentioned, that's the ideology that me and Hassan is coming from. Working within THORChain ecosystem, we are DeFi agents, and we wanted to create a solution where DeFi is not limited to just on-chain blockchain dApps and connecting wallet to that and that, to that and that web page. And also we see all of these like phishing is a huge problem in DeFi, where you just connect to the wrong website and there you go, the wallet is drained. And if you keep everything inside an app, it's a lot less risk to be scammed and do these and go in these traps that DeFi users have been learning the hard way, right? We have learned the hard way too, both me and Hassan, like in the past, and therefore we have built this wallet that has no the number one priority that we have for this wallet is security, because DeFi has everything that's needed to be free and be your own bank and all of that. But all of the traps are still out there in DeFi. So we wanted to prioritize security and build a product that has the best possible user experience, and also, again, combine it with Web 2 features.
Yeah, like I don't think comparing to Revolut is fair on your guys' part. Revolut sucks. Like I can't get a Revolut account because I have to do all kinds of KYC that they don't approve.
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's
Exactly.
yeah, and I'm in Cayman Islands, so they won't approve Cayman accounts. And so I tried doing it in like pretending I'm in the UK and I need like a UK visa and all kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, so I just gave up.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
exactly.
yeah.
And actually Revolut was really easy in the beginning. I've been using Revolut for like 3 or 4 years, and it was so easy to use in the beginning because it was not that restricted. It did not have a lot of like regulatory compliance issues. But now that it became so popular so fast, they grew, and they're like one of the biggest, like it's the biggest neobank in the world, I think. And now it's super restricted. So that's the perfect example. You can't even create an account because you're in a wrong in a wrong area. And like that would never happen to BeerVault because we are built on a decentralized infrastructure. It doesn't even matter. And I can also on ramp Hassan here if he wants to add anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes basically what Diedrich has been saying is exactly because we were talking about the main product, right? And yeah, the main product is that basically DeFi experience we're trying to build. In fact, when we first started, we had the name "Be Your Own Bank," and that was like our slogan. Of course, we had to change it because you cannot. By the way, can you mute yourself, Diedrich, please? Yeah, thank you. So we had the slogan "Be Your Own Bank," which essentially we had to take out because it contained the word bank, and regulation wouldn't allow a non-registered company to use the word bank anywhere. Like essentially, I looked it up, and Revolut had a lot of problems just for advertising and saying like better than a bank or whatever, just because they used the word bank. They were getting so many lawsuits, and I'm like, okay, we're not trying to go there. So we changed the whole slogan. We changed the name of the app. Right, for those who were here early on, the name of the app was Beer Bank, and it's exactly because of the idea where we are trying to build this sort of neobank that would offer people the solution. It's like, okay, you don't want to use a bank account anymore. You don't have access to open a bank account. You can come to us, right? The idea, and this is like our philosophy, is we want to create a solution where people no longer have the need for a bank account. It is optional because everything you can and want to do with fiat or with money, you will be able to do it on our app with crypto. That's like the goal. Of course, we're not going to be able to launch with everything right away, but it's a work in progress, right? And eventually we will be able to offer that experience with as little friction as possible.
I got a question.
Nice. So, oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, Captain.
Go ahead, Patriot.
I'm just is there any restrictions in the products that you can buy? Like as an American, you know, in certain places I can go buy a Glock 19, some ammo, 3 blunts, and maybe go to Las Vegas and get an escort. Sorry, I was a little exaggerated there. But is there any restrictions whatsoever to the purchases you can make with the card?
Nope.
That's
I
why
mean,
we
the
have
only restrictions
that's why the US have a lower spending cap, exactly due to that. Going to Vegas and stuff like
Base.
that.
Man, you
let
got
me jump in. So
good hookers
basically-
that take credit card, Patriot.
I know where to swipe it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I understand why the word bank. There's other words too that are like really restrictive. You can't use. But you mentioned you can't advertise no KYC. Are there laws around that, or is it just you kind of got advice? You know what? Just don't do it. It's not a good idea. Why can't you advertise no KYC?
It's because of Visa branding. Because our cards are Visa, and Visa branding has very like strict rules where they want to maintain a very strong brand. So anyone who uses their cards, basically, they will revoke the license if you don't follow their rules for advertising. And by the way, for the restricted merchants, I'm gonna pull up the list right now because I have it on me. And I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna say a little list to you just for you to realize like this is a list of very specific things where people go to commit fraud. Like for example, they would create an account there and they would commit fraud, and that's why they're banned. And like for example, if you go to Vegas or whatever you want, you can create 10 BiorLabs cards. You can create 10 of those cards, and you can just blow them up. You can spend as much as you want, right? We're not gonna block you for doing that. And the block things are not like we're manually doing it. These are automatic. Like from the moment you create the cards, these are chosen. Like, okay, for example, if you want to spend on marketing, whether it's Google, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, Microsoft, Apple, Snap, all of these advertisement on those platforms, it's all blocked. For cloud hosting and domain stuff, also Google Cloud, Amazon, Cloudflare, DigitalOcean, MongoDB. There's like a general list of all the biggest cloud hosting domains. Money services like PayPal, Revolut, this is fairly obvious because people would use that for money laundering. And the other ones would be like for travel delivery, like Uber Eats and Grab, Booking.com, these specific services. Um, and the other ones are of the same like type where people would be able to usually, create an account and then they could like commit some sort of fraud. So we will be able to we will later provide different cards that are going to support those, but also if we will be offering like for the physical cards, but these will be KYC versions where once the user has them, they can spend on all these blocked areas because now they're KYC'd, right? If someone is KYC'd, there is no reason for us to limit any purchasing, right? Because if there's any problem, that user is KYC'd and it is between them and the law. It is no longer up to us. But because now you are not KYC'd, this means that from a legal perspective, we are the ones who are in charge of what you're doing. Like when you spend and if you do something wrong, we are the one who are going to get in trouble. But if you're KYC'd, you're the one who gets in trouble, right? So that's the difference. And that's also why, I mean, I don't blame a lot of the companies who are not going to offer non-KYC cards, or I don't blame, for example, Revolut for having all these restrictions and regulations because once, if they don't, it's one person has to take the risk, right? Either the user takes the risk or the vendor takes the risk.
Yeah, exactly. So let's stick with your non-KYC cards for now. So do you envision a day where maybe those limits get increased? Like I assume, are those limits like self-imposed, like they're like regulatory limits? It's like, everyone in North America has to follow those same limits, or is this a Visa imposed limit because they're new to dealing with you? So like, okay, we're going to cap you at 1,000, but maybe after a couple of years they can raise you up type of thing. Where do those limits come from? And do you envision one day maybe they can be increased?
These are self-imposed and they can be increased in the future. We're starting with, like, we had a chat with our providers and we basically came to the decision, all right, we're going to impose those limits for now. And if we have like special clients or people who want like different limits or whatever, they told us we're allowed to do that. But for the general cards, we're going to have these limits. We can increase them later. Like I have an idea of different numbers. I don't want to say anything publicly now about the specific numbers we would be allowed to go up to, but the limit can go a lot higher.
Interesting. I assumed it would be like I know in Canada, it might be the same in the US. I think it's like up to $3,000 in cash. You can buy something without the merchant requiring to ask for your ID. And if any purchase larger, I think the merchant has to ask for your ID. So I thought maybe it was something like that you can fit under some max spend limit without asking for ID. That's okay. That's interesting to know.
I mean, maybe that's. I mean, I spoke with our provider, and maybe they have something like that in the back end. I didn't like look too much into the details. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm the expert on all of these laws. I only know what we provide, and I didn't go over all these details when talking with our provider.
Got it. And the only reason I know this isn't. I'm from Alberta. I'm from Calgary. I don't know where you guys are from, but I used to go buy gold and
I have
silver
family there.
and oh, nice. So I'd always go to the dealer and I'd buy gold or silver with like cash under $3,000, and they don't ask for ID or anything like that. And same with you could sell metal, so as long as it's under $3,000, they don't ask for any ID or anything. And that was like an actual. It might have been. I think it might have been an Alberta law. It might have been a provincial law. Can't remember exactly, but yeah. Anyway, so I thought maybe it was something similar for you guys.
But I'm actually surprised. Isn't like when you buy physical gold from banks, don't they always like overcharge you? Like they're gonna charge a premium on it?
Well, if you go to an actual bank, in
Like
Canada, the
TD
Royal
Bank.
Bank or TD Bank of Montreal, they might. But if you go to an actual dealer, well, to be honest, it's purchase of metals is it's just a volume game, right? If one person is more expensive than the other, it's like 0.5%. It's rare if somebody's going to be like 5% more expensive than the other guy, right? It's usually really close. And if you go to a local shop, you might he might pay a bit more because he's a small shop, right? He's not doing a lot of volume. He's got to pay for the, for the business location, right? If you're dealing with somebody over the phone who's got like a big national presence, and they're just, they can have better economies of scale, so maybe get a little bit cheaper. But overall, everyone should be like within 0.5 to 1% of each other. It shouldn't be that far off. Yeah, if you're paying like 5% more than somewhere else, it's like, yeah, you're getting ripped off. But that's that's the analog crypto. Let's go back to the digital crypto. So okay, we've been talking. I think we hashed out your whole debit card. We've picked it apart. But I don't. So the way I'm understanding you guys, like that's actually not how BiorLabs is going to make money. I'm assuming you guys will actually make money off the conversion of like when people buy and sell crypto. Is that where you can actually make some money?
Yeah, so the swapping is going to be the main source of revenue. It's also going to be tied to the token utility. And, for the cards and the on and off ramp, the fees, obviously, they have to be very low. Otherwise, people are not going to spend because, why would someone use our on and off ramp instead of using a competitor's if it doesn't have a very competitive price? And by the way, a lot of these big players like Trust Wallet, 1inch, they purposefully don't charge third-party fees just to make it that much more competitive, right? Because they're sitting there thinking, well, we are rich. We don't need that money. Why are we going to charge that? If we don't charge, we're going to get more users, and then we can make more money on the swapping. We can make more money. And by the way, they overcharge the hell out of swapping. That's their strategy. They basically charge nothing for on and off ramp, and then when you come to swap, it's like 0.8, right? It's 80 basis points. It's crazy. So, yeah.
But also because you have all-in-one wallet with the Bior Vault, you will be forced to do like any of these other transactions as well. So if you're on ramping, off ramping, if you are depositing like anything, because we are supporting so many chains, you would need to swap to the supported payment methods or type of coins that is needed to purchase the debit card, right? So it all ties up together within the app. So, and that's again what we mean by like you should not even have the need to go out of the Bior Vault app to do anything in DeFi, because when it comes to the swaps as well, we will have the most competitive rates throughout the whole market, including centralized exchanges. So why would you off ramp the or send your coins out of the Bior Vault app, because it's not even needed, because you have everything you need in there. And if you need to get the coins that are the only supported payment methods to purchase a debit card, then you just swap it inside the app, because it's even cheaper than doing it on any other like DEX or centralized exchange.
Nice. And you capture the whole user
Yeah, by
experience.
the way, I received a message from someone who asked me when I mentioned 2FA what I meant, like for the cards. I just meant to say that the email that we collect that I said was totally optional, like you can put fake, a fake email. That is an email and that is the 2FA, right? Because the main way for you to connect to your card is going to be to sign a transaction with your wallet, and that's how we keep it anonymous and privacy friendly. But we have to also collect an email. So the email would be sort of the 2FA, right? Because it's a backup recovery feature where if you contact us and tell us, hey, I lost access to my seed phrase, or, someone hacked my account, I need access to the cards. Well, using your email, we can identify you. And we also have a security, instead of a security question, it's like a security username. So we're going to say, okay, this is your email. So what is the username you gave us? And we also send you a code. So you can find the code, and you can also tell us what is the security name. So this is like the 2FA. It's basically just an email, and you have to give us when you like create the cards, you're going to be prompted to enter a secret username, and that's it. But these are not like connected to your identity whatsoever. These are not like collected for anything other than customer service purposes.
When I go on your guys' interface, okay, so I'm an American, obviously. Let's say I have a buddy over, let's say with the Coke. I think he's a Spaniard, right? When I go to buy a gift card, is it something that's toggleable? Do I select what kind I want, or is it based on my IP address? Like, say, like he did something nice for me, say, hey, I'm going to give you a $500 gift card. How does that work?
Yeah, it's based on your IP address.
Okay, so I would have to use a VPN and say I'm in the UK or I don't know, whatever, and then I could buy that
Well,
kind of card, or how's that work?
We can't we're not going to encourage people to if someone is in a restricted area and they're not supposed to access a certain feature, then they should not be using a VPN or trying to access that feature. Since they're not supposed to, right? Legally, we're not allowed to provide a service to them, so they're not.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we can't say people, hey, use a VPN. This is just this would be sort of messing with the law, and we're not
I
about that.
understand. That's obviously a dumb question by me. I apologize for that. I was more innocently thinking like, oh, European card. But you did say before you can use both cards. You can use both cards all over the world, so I wouldn't need to do that. I could just use the card that in North America. Okay, I forgot that detail. Sorry about that.
No worries at all. It makes sense because it's also definitely something that should be highlighted because again, our card method and the opportunity to spending cash and like um, make your crypto cash like that and spendable. It's so totally new. So definitely no questions are dumb at all because in our case, it's just important that people understand the structure of how everything works with the Be Your Vault card because again, we are the first in the space to actually do it this way, and so education will be a quite big part of how we on ramp users. So yeah, it's definitely not a dumb question at all, and I think it's better that we answer that uh, two or three times more than one time too little, right?
Yeah,
So,
100%. 100%. Go ahead, Kenton.
so do you have follow-up questions? I'm changing the subject a bit.
No, I was just going to say, my question mostly stemmed just because we live under this regulatory spider web. It's really confusing. You know what I mean? Like this is an international community when it comes to crypto. So for me, who's never done that before, it's that's where the question comes from. It's just trying to calculate so many variables in your mind. It's like, man, how would I do that? What is the right way to do that? But yeah, that's it. Go ahead, Kenton.
I mean, it's a part of
Yeah,
the terms of services that, hey, I'm not trying to use a service I'm not allowed or supposed to use, because we do need that also to protect ourselves. Like, hey, we're not we're putting these rules, but also the users are agreeing that they're following those rules, and it's what allows us to keep operating.
So how many tokens are you going to support? I forget. I think you mentioned. I forget the number. And are you going to be able to? Are you only supporting tokens that people are able to trade, or will you have all tokens available in the wallet, whether you can trade them or not? Yeah, how are you doing that?
So for the tokens, it's it's not actually a question of tokens because, for example, we support Ethereum, so that would mean any token on the Ethereum chain, right? If we're talking, and so essentially it comes down to what blockchain we support. And our app is going to support every blockchain supported on SwapKit. So you can just take a look there. These are all the chains they support. We're going to add those chains, full support to every single one of those chains. So for example, if a blockchain has a specific feature to that chain, we're going to go the extra mile and we're going to integrate that feature for that chain. So the chain is fully functional on our app. So basically, we are not only we're also competing for every specific blockchain. Like for example, if Zcash, I don't know, has some specific features that only Zcash specific wallets have, so we want to have those specific features in our app so we can compete with the Zcash wallets. That would be I think the best example I can give here. Unless are you asking about the tokens supported for the cards or on off ramp, or is it just a tokens in the app in general?
No, you answered my question. That was the answer I was looking for. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
currently we support, at launch, we're going to support custom EVM and custom Cosmos. So any Cosmos chain, you can add it as a custom chain. Any Ethereum chain, you can add it as a custom chain. And then it's going to be just the general list of networks that we support.
Cool. So on the go ahead, Patriot.
I'm so sorry, Kenton. This is just something that's happening right now. So a community member just disclosed to the THORChain devs that there might be a slight exploit or bug in the way that Bifrost does UTXO transactions. So for those who are just noticing that the UTXOs, Litecoin, Doge, BCH, and Bitcoin are being paused, they're just investigating right now, and that may lead to them pushing a patch just to address this concern. So just want to give that a highlight real quick. Go ahead, Kenton.
Breaking news live on Saturday THORChain Space. Nice.
That's how we do it, buddy.
Yeah, we better be careful. This could turn into Anchorman or something. We're going to create a 24/7 THORChain news channel or something.
Awesome reference. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we kind of touched on this a bit on Thursday, you guys using SwapKit. And you mentioned you're using them because the App Store won't let you use Rango or 1inch. And I just, because I know Trust Wallet uses Rango. So I'm just curious, if you can maybe
there's a difference there because
again.
Trust Wallet is owned by Binance, and Binance has the full licensing, and like every license in the world that they need, they have it, so they're going to get approved on the App Store regardless. For us, we're a small startup. We don't have the budget to get all these licenses. So for us, it's a lot harder to get listed. And I think if you look at Thor Wallet now they're licensed because they have literally a bank inside the app, so that's different. But at first, Thor Wallet has so many issues getting on the App Store too. I remember when they launched, they had I think it was around 4 months. I don't want to, spread misinformation, but it was a couple of months where their app was only available on Android and TestFlight, and you couldn't get it on iOS. And I think Voltisig also had so many issues getting on the App Store. So the App Store is like a known issue for any crypto vendor that is trying to get there, unless you're already very big and have all the licenses and the contacts and you know how to make it work. It's very tough. But the thing is, from what I understand, because I spoke to Voltisig, some of the Voltisig members, and I asked them, how did you guys get on the App Store? And from what they told me, basically, when they gave the licensing for their other features in the app just generally got approved, and then it got pushed to launch, even with the swapper. And so that's also the direction we're going to take. We're going to attempt to get on the App Store, and they're going to do a full review. We'll provide the licensing for the general features, and it's, from what we understand, we should get approved after that. I do want to add, the reason we're using SwapKit is not only, number one, yes, it's because of the App Store approval, because we know many apps that use SwapKit and they got approved. So we believe this is probably the simplest way to do it. And they also told us that there are other apps that integrated their swapper didn't have any problems. So that's the way we're going to try it. But number two, also because, and this is the reason I was really interested in SwapKit, is they allow you to do you go from any Solana token to any ERC20 token in one TX. You sign once and you can do 10 swaps inside that TX that you sign, right? On Rango, the way it works is you would have to sign multiple times for each different transaction. I know that Rango also tried to implement the multi-step, you sign it all in one transaction. But from what I can tell, it's not as advanced as the one SwapKit is providing. It's more smooth. And it's also because what we are selling, and this is very important, we are selling a user experience. The whole point of our app is we are providing higher user experience than any competitor, to the point where anyone can enter, very low bar of entry, right? And by providing this superior user experience, we're saying, we can add all these extra features and they're going to be easier to use. So part of using SwapKit is also because we believe it's the best way for us to provide the best user experience, exactly because they can do a multi-step transaction in one TX. So unless you tell me there's someone else who can do that specifically and also support all the blockchains they support and also support all the tokens they support, I don't see the point for us to go anywhere, because although it might be a little more expensive, user experience has its price, right? Like people do pay extra for user experience.
Yeah, totally agree with your logic there. Kenton unfortunately got rugged, so we're trying to get him back on. But you are right in the fact that you need complexity abstraction away, right? The single transaction, that's absolutely key to a good user experience. They do not want, people don't want to have to click multiple transactions. There's just so much friction to that. It's so annoying, right? And people can become disinterested. So that's correct. You want to have a simple one transaction and done experience. So I agree with your logic
Yeah,
there.
and the thing is, I want to just add, the multi-transaction step, at first because I worked with DeFi Spot in the past, and what I noticed is no matter how much we simplified it, how much we improved the user experience, most people, they don't understand, oh, why do I have to swap again? What is happening? Like they get so confused no matter how much we try to like simplify it and explain it. And I realized it's actually easier if we just let people, figure out the multi-step routes on their own. Like, oh, I'm gonna swap this and then I'll swap this, and they do it on their own. This is literally, in my opinion, this is a better experience than trying to do it for them and prompting them to sign every time, right? Just from what I've seen. So that's why, in my opinion, multi-step is absolutely like you're just shooting yourself in the foot, right? You're not gonna beat any competitors with that.
Real quick, Kenton, I believe he's back. I'm gonna have Kenton check his mic, and if he's good, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. So go ahead, Kenton.
Mic check. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Did you hear what he
all
said,
good.
by the way?
I think I heard most of what you're saying. Thanks, Hussein. Yes, I want to go back to your SwapKit and integrator thing. Thanks for that feedback. It's actually really good. I'm gonna run the signing the one transaction for multiple. I'm gonna run that by Stoppable guys. But just FYI, we're trying to build an aggregator basically to compete with SwapKit, and but have all the trades go to THORChain for free, and bigger picture, longer term, like this is JP's goal with THORChain, is to have basically one API for a wallet to integrate where it just does everything, and because that's what he's noticed with building multi-sig, that it's it's a pain to have multiple different integrations. You just want one, right? And so you're right about the user experience for your users, but we also want to make the user experience for your devs really easy too. And so JP is supposed to be getting the people to start getting all these different chains on THORChain, and then with THORChain's version of Intense, we should be able to pretty much cover any blockchain. So THORChain is moving in that direction to basically provide a competitor to SwapKit, and so yeah, we should just obviously stay in touch
That's
about
awesome.
that.
Yeah, and I
But
just want go.
is that directly from like the THORChain core team or core devs?
That's directly from JP's mouth. Who's
From
actually,
JP's mouth.
yeah,
Okay.
well, typical JP, right? But I do believe this is for real though. This is more than just talk. He's working on it, and so which is good because it's something that for me, has been. I don't want to bring up like I wish THORChain would have stayed on this trajectory the whole time. Just keep adding more chains and just make it easy to get into wallets. And so we had about a year or two of getting off that path, but I feel like now we're back on it. So and then the main one is just providing a free route to THORChain, right? Like SwapKit charges 10 to 20 basis points. Everyone's crying about how expensive THORChain is. It's like, well, we got to cut out these middlemen, and so that'd be if we can provide a free API to guys, wallets like you guys, that hey, you can trade on THORChain for free. There's no upcharge for you, and THORChain makes money on our base layer fees, right? So basically, we're self-distributing, and I've been pushing for this for a while now because like the biggest brands in the world, the biggest businesses self-distribute. So we got to do that too, and so that's how everyone wanted, how do we make THORChain better than Near and all this kind of stuff. It's like, well, let's cut out the fat on top of us. So yeah, so hopefully, I don't know, in a year, maybe that one API that has everything is done. I don't know.
I'm curious,
That makes
does
total
the
sense.
does the THORChain, well, because from what I understand, essentially the THORChain team is saying, well, let's build our own aggregator so that we can cut the current fee that SwapKit is charging, because right now THORChain is more expensive because everyone's using SwapKit and SwapKit has their upcharge fee. So I'm curious about whether or not this aggregator is also going to charge a fee, for example, on routes that use Maya protocol or let's say Chainflip. Are you guys also going to add a fee on top of that, or is there going to be no fee across the board?
Yeah, great question. So the aggregator that we have now, the Unstoppable guys have built, it's going to be on the THORChain interface. It's going to be no fees on THORChain. First, it'll look to trade on THORChain. If so, no fees. It'll look to trade on Maya. If so, no fees. And then it'll go look everywhere else near, 1 inch everywhere else. And then we'll tack on 20 basis points. That's what we're doing for the front end. You as a wallet, maybe we come in and we can negotiate those 20 basis points, but that's how it's going to pay for itself, for that, sending trades elsewhere. But then eventually, if we have every token on THORChain, there will be no 20 basis points because everything's going through THORChain, right? So there'll be no extra fee on top because THORChain's collecting its fee already. So that's the plan. That's
I
the
do
big
think
picture.
it would be a little funnier and interesting if THORChain adds like a Ruin utility tied to this aggregator. But yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, let's say, for example, if there's like any sort of like revenue sharing from the aggregator that is created that goes to the protocol and benefits the Rune token, that would be interesting.
Yeah, but the devs gotta eat. The guys supporting it, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
100%.
right. So we need a way to pay them, and the way THORChain benefits is getting those flows. So by making it cheaper, we should get more volume on THORChain, and that volume is paying the base layer fees, right? That's how Rune holders and network benefits. So we're just so the other 20 basis points for the other tokens, that's just to support the aggregator and have a way to pay those devs.
I wonder if it makes sense, with the THORChain main interface. Hopefully, I'm not a little pushy with this question, but could you have a gift card button generator thing on the interface and, go to BiorLabs or something?
Well, no, I don't think so. I think what I want to do, and I'm going to push for, is have our own fiat on and off ramp, which would be KYC, and like Banksa or something like that. And that part I think we should do. I want to, just like you guys want to capture the user experience in your app, I want to capture the THORChain user experience on our app, on our website. And I think having a fee on and off ramp is a big part of that. But I've had some preliminary talks with Banksa, and I know Ruggiero is going to use them, and but they're a bit limited. I've tried using Banksa on my own personally, and like I keep getting rugged on it, and I'm like, well, this is a terrible user experience. So so I don't know, but I believe over the next year or 2 or 3, the ability to on and off ramp to stablecoins is going to get much easier, and I think we're going to have much more solutions for that. So I like to think, we'll be able to come up with something. But for now, that's like a next year's problem, right? We have other things to do.
Yeah, there's so much to build. And I gotta say, you guys, I really like your product. I love it. And I even love it even more knowing you guys have been part of the THORChain community since 2021, and you understand the history and how hard THORChain has had to struggle to get to where it is today. And you guys have answered all our questions really well, and I appreciate it. And, because Kenton brought up Ruggiero, Goatski, I'm Patriot Sounds on Telegram. I did respond to your DM on the on Telegram with Ruggiero stuff because, you know, you guys, from what I understand, you know, you want to offer more DeFi primitives. This is kind of like the beginning, right? Like this is the beginning of where you guys want to go. And that is an absolutely fantastic thing. If you guys haven't taken the deep dive in the app layer yet, it is truly incredible. You know, where we're going to have all the DeFi in the most permissionless, you know, non KYC, and where everything is going to be auditable, right? Like when you go to a SEX and you use some DeFi primitive, you know, there's always this layer. There's something hiding behind the curtain of, you know, if you do like perps trade or something like that, is the Oracle being manipulated? Are people getting, you know, unfairly liquidated? Blah blah blah, right? So really cool what you guys are building, and this is awesome, and I am so excited to hear what you guys are going to build next.
Yeah, I mean, I want to add for what you just said. That's very true, and also like people don't realize this, but most wallets they are like hiding just the fee, like just the fee. For example, I made like a competitor list of all the fees they charge, and you have no idea how many like wallets, because you know I downloaded a lot of them. How many of them? It's nearly impossible to get how much they charge. Like I had to go through their terms of services to find it somewhere, or I had to go for some of them. I literally had to go through Reddit, and at some point in one AMA, they answered it at a specific time, and I'm like, no way, this is like the only like place of reference for their fee. And I would like download their app. I would try to do a swap, and it didn't tell me the fee. It just didn't say it anywhere. So yeah, you guys are like Ruggiero would offer like that extra step where what do you mean the fee's not disclosed? They disclose everything. It's an open book. So that's really cool. I personally used to be like when like from Kujira, I used to be a very big supporter. I remember talking to some of the founders of Kujira, and I was always very big on it. And then, like I said, in the last AMA, I sort of stopped following afterwards because things got very busy. But I'd be more than happy to revisit it and even integrate it in our app if they're building all these same features. From what I remember, it was like a very cool system. And the thing about Kujira that I remember liking was they provided a new way for people to make money. Like people could like bet on what was it?
Liquidations?
Yes, liquidations, which was basically when people put up collateral to take out a loan. If they don't like the collateral falls under like when they get liquidated, people can bet on the collateral and then cash some profits. And that was such a cool thing. I remember I really liked it. I actually used it a couple of times. I made it some money, and I was like, what the hell? Like, how is this even a thing, right? So it would be really cool to have something like that in the app. And we'd be more than happy to integrate it, but of course, the first step is to get our app out, get the mainnet launch, and have an app that actually works. Because it's cool to talk about all these features, but the thing is, if the app is buggy on every specific feature, it has a little bug. This is too much friction, especially in crypto. Like, it's gonna take some time to have the app be very, very smooth. Like, no matter how much work we put into it now, when we're gonna launch, we're definitely gonna have bugs. Like every app, when they launch it first, they're gonna have bugs, and they're gonna catch them from user feedback, and then they're gonna improve, right? So it's gonna be a process where in the first couple of months, we're gonna be like hard focused on increasing the user experience and making the app very, very smooth. But once that's done, and we have like this essentially an app that just works, right? The greatest thing about an app is that it works. That's it. Afterwards, we can start talking about integrating more and doing more. And from there, I think the direction we'll take will be dependent on the market, like what we think is going to get us more users or what people are most interested in. Because at the end of the day, we're also a business, right? And we need to get users or make revenue. So the direction we're going to take isn't going to be entirely based on our users. So if we see what our users want is a specific feature, that's where we're going to lean.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was done. I was just I was just like for the next topic, I was wondering if we can go towards the token utility and
I was just
because I did want to mention that. Go ahead.
absolutely. I was just gonna go there. You know, you talked about your business. You want to make money. How does that work? So you guys have a token. How do they share the fees? You know, all kind of stuff. Yeah, break it all down for us.
Yeah. Well, I do want to mention that we did a fair token launch. So essentially, well, if we did a fair token launch, how did we make any revenue at all, right? We made our revenue from taxes. So we basically charge a tax on trading for the token, but the token is like when we launched, it was like 60% pool with it was a 60% liquidity pool. Anyone can just jump in and buy. So we made no like people weren't buying the token from us, right? they would buy it from the liquidity pool, and we would charge a tax on the volume. So that's sort of like the current setup of how we have been making revenue. Volume can get low because people don't like to pay the taxes, but I guess I think it's fair for us to do that because we didn't bring in any private investors. We didn't bring in any KOLs who are like gonna dump on anyone. There is no angel. I mean, there is a couple of friends of ours who gave us like a lot of money early on, but they did not get a better price than the public round. I can assure you that. So the point I'm making here is we're basically saying like, hey, we didn't bring in any like insiders. We're just launching it. We're giving it to the community, but we still have to, make money to build the product. So we're going to be charging the tax. So the tax is not forever. It's just until the point where we are like sustainable and we have enough revenue, or we feel like we have a big enough treasury that we can cut it off, right? So there's that. That's for the token, how we launched it, and the structure around it. Now, what about the token utility? Before I get into that, I want to talk
Can I
about.
interrupt you
Yeah, go
quick?
ahead.
Sorry, Hussein. Is it
Yeah,
it's an
go ahead. Go
ERC?
ahead.
It's an ERC20, and then the pool's on Uniswap, I assume.
Yes, correct. Correct.
Okay. And you can trade it. Can you trade that within your in the BR vault? You can trade your own token, right?
Yeah, I mean it's actually
Yeah.
funny because at first, because on SwapKit, if a token has a too low of a market cap, basically it makes it sort of like illiquid or the slip is too high, so they wouldn't allow it. So for a specific period of time, you couldn't trade our own token on our app, and it's actually the reason where we ended up integrating Rango because we're like, okay, we need like our token needs to be tradable in our app, so we're gonna add Rango on top of it.
Oh, did he
And then
rug?
we added
He
Rango.
might have rugged.
Sorry,
Or am I
hello?
rugged?
Your mic is up. Patriot, your mic is on. Yeah, mute yourself. Yeah. Sorry, Hassan. Keep going.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I thought he was talking to me. Anyways, so where was I? Yes, so we basically integrated Rango because we were like, yeah, our token needs to be tradable in our app. But then when we try to apply to App Store, because of the Rango API, we just get nuked. They're like, you can't go on to the App Store because Rango has specifically in its code, it says the word 1inch, it says the word Uniswap. And those are like, I think, trigger words for the App Store. If they see 1inch or Uniswap anywhere in your code, in the metadata, whatever it is, it's over. You're not going on the App Store, right? So we had to remove all of it. And yeah, we're gonna apply again this time using only SwapKit, but I'm pretty sure that if our token, because we do have a micro cap, like our token is below 1 million market cap. If we do, and currently in crypto, sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I'm in a building and we have a fire alarm. I'm pretty sure it's like a fake
It
alarm.
doesn't sound that bad. It doesn't sound
Okay,
that bad.
cool. Okay, I'm gonna keep going then. Yeah. In any case, so yeah, our
Ignore
token
the
may
fire
inherit-
alarm and stay on the space with us.
Please, I don't.
Yeah.
I want to disregard your
Yeah, I think
personal
it's
safety,
just
please.
yeah, we have like our building has very like sensitive fire alarms. Like if you just have a burned piece of bread, it's gonna like the whole building is gonna start beeping. It's crazy. Like they need to fix it. In any case, where I was going was, yeah, if our token falls under a certain market cap, it may not be available on the app via SwapKit, but we are planning to add like our own route. Like for the token, we're maybe gonna like directly do a Uniswap integration just for the token, just so the token is always tradable. We might just do that. Unless we hit a high enough market cap where we don't have to worry about it anymore, then that would be it.
Okay, so what about there's a tax on every time somebody buys or sells the BR token. That's how the team makes money. What about the fees on swapping crypto? If you're swapping within the app, are you charging a commission on top, a fee on that and collecting that?
Yeah, we are charging a small fee on top of it. Our fee is very transparent. That's one thing we don't hide. It's 2 basis points. So it's also why, I think it's very competitive because in total, we're going to be charging 4 basis points in the app. And if you look at any of our competitors, especially if you look at the top ones or the so-called high quality ones like MetaMask or Phantom, they all charge like almost 1%. They charge 0.8 percent. So I think we are. And by the way, I did like this little diagram I can share. Well, not diagram, sorry. I did this Google sheet and we did some numbers, and it's actually funny because we found that the perfect fee to charge, where we think it's like best price or the best rate would be 0.4. It's like the fairest price. Like it's not too low because too low would be underpriced, and it's not too high. It's exactly the perfect price for the wallet.
So just to make 0.4%, that's 40 basis points.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
So
trust.
I can
Yeah,
pull up the
trust.
sheet
Yeah.
and explain it to you if you're interested.
Is there a way to post it to our? Oh, we can't do comments on
I
these
can, yeah, I can
Squarespaces.
send it. Well, look, I can send it to you and we can post it after. But
Yeah.
basically, what we did was, I'm just trying to find it. There was, because I did a second sheet. Okay, this is the old one, but it still gives me the, I can still explain. So basically, I made a big list of all the wallets. There's like the ERC, like ETH only wallets, multi-chain wallets, all of that. Okay. And from each wallet, we created a cluster. So we have cluster one, cluster two, cluster three, cluster four. Each cluster is like, for example, low fees, mid fees, or high fees. We even have a fuck you fee. This is if it goes over not 0.9%, like 90 basis point. That's like a fuck you fee, we call it. So essentially, if we do the cluster average of the top 7 wallets, it gives us exactly 40%. So sorry, it gives you not 40%. I mean 0.4%, which is 40 basis points. And that is why we're like, okay, this has to be then the perfect price for us to offer. And on the other hand, if you look at multi-chain wallets, and this one is a little surprising, the cluster average is 0.96%. Crypto multi-chain wallets offer basically the cluster average is 0.96%. That is like super high. It's almost 1%. And the cluster median, because sometimes the median offers a better a better idea of the data, it's at 0.5%. So even the cluster median for multi-chain wallets is higher than ours. It's at 0.5. So we are definitely in the cheaper area when it comes to multi-chain wallets. And when it comes to just wallets in general, like as a wallet competing in the market, we're offering the fairest price. And by fairest, I mean we're not overcharging, but we're also not undercharging. We get our piece of the pie. You get what you want. Everyone's happy.
Kenton, on our interface, when we have our DEX aggregator, if someone uses a pathway that's not THORChain or my protocol, we need a fuck you fee. Okay.
Yeah.
Big capital
That's why you
letters.
guys are laughing.
Yeah.
all caps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Good.
just for the funs of it, there's
That's
this
awesome.
wallet. It's called Zango, and it charges like up to 4% of a fee. And when I saw that, like when I was building the data, and I saw there's something above 0.9, because in my idea it was going to be 3 clusters, right? It was going to be like zero fee wallets, like Trust Wallet and 1inch. They make their money from so they don't charge any fees. And you have cluster two, this is low fees between 0.1 and 0.5. And we have cluster three, it's supposed to be the high fees from 0.51 to 0.9. And I was just like, how is there anything above it? So we just called it the fuck you fee. And yeah.
So this
Okay.
is something that I think about is that, there's all this volumes on centralized exchanges. Why isn't it coming off onto, dexes like THORChain and these cross-chain wallets? And I wonder if it's just simply because the fees are too high. And like people do know about it, but they're like, well, why would I get off Binance when I can pay, 5 or 10 basis points? Why would I go to Ledger Trust Wallet and pay 100 basis points? Like, I wonder if that's the reason why we're not seeing more volumes in these
Well,
multi-chain wallets.
hold on. What are the fees on Binance?
Um, it's not a lot. It's like 10 basis points. Forget what the lowest. That's like the highest.
Wow.
I'll look
Okay.
it up. Well, you guys, talk amongst yourselves. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I
I
can't use
mean,
finance, but some
that's
like
very
go
interesting.
ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I didn't realize it was that low for Binance. I didn't think it was that low because I used to use Binance, and I remember, like, if I did a swap with at least like $1,000, I would immediately feel the impact. Compared to like when I'm swapping on DeFi, I don't immediately like feel the impact with $1,000. Like sometimes I do $1,000 swap and I get $1,000 back, right? A lot of times, and in
There's
DeFi the
a
thing is, go ahead.
no, there's a pretty big difference between limit orders and market orders.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about limits. Okay.
Yeah, limit orders are really cheap, but market orders have higher basis points for sure. I just don't remember the the number on the top of my head.
So on just on the Binance's fee schedule here, and it's for a regular user, just like with no discounts. You don't own any BNB, less than $1 million in volume a month. You pay 10 basis points. That's their
Yeah, that is
highest
very
fee
low.
is 10 basis
And
points.
also, you need to take into account the user experience because, in my opinion, what I've always thought is the number one reason why people don't go off centralized exchanges is the user experience. And the reason I say that is because, well, number one, I've been a lot into like around crypto education. Like I've been teaching a lot of people, and around me, I have so many friends and people that I know who have been slowly getting into crypto. And the number one thing is they use centralized exchanges because they're easy to use. And then when it's time to withdraw, they're like, oh well, do I withdraw what chain do I use to withdraw? What is all this? What are all these shenanigans? Why does it say ARB or ERC20? What is that, right? By the way, Dieter, can you mute yourself? It's creating an echo.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, number one would be the user experience. So this is one of the things that we really thought hard about when creating our user interface, and we have a very we have a very intuitive interface when it comes to sending or receiving funds. Like it's a little different. It looks very different than from other apps, but you know we spent many variations. Some of the apps they simplify the process by making it multi-step. In my opinion, it only makes it that much more complicated because you have to go back and forth between the pages to figure it out, right? I'm like, okay, how do we make it one page? But then there's all these different features. You have to select the token, the address, and I'm like, you know what? What if we simply recreate the centralized exchange experience where you select the token and then you select the chain, and essentially whatever it's going to be like the same interface. Even though like in crypto, you really only need the chain. We decided to add the token because we're like it's going to create the same feeling. And I really can't put it into words, but I can share with you the user interface and you guys can like post it after. It's very, very intuitive. And I think this is one of these things that's going to get more people into wallets because right now people they don't know how to use it, they can't use it, and it's just hard to use. I'm like 100% convinced the number one reason is like the barrier, right? Because even exchanges they know that people want to go into DeFi, right? That's why Binance has a wallet. That's why every single centralized exchange now they have like a web app wallet version because they know people want to use DeFi and they want to be able to get that extra money from people who use DeFi. And so yeah, the real barrier I think is that. Go ahead.
So you're absolutely right. I think it's user experience. You're right, and also just inertia. Like people are just used to using centralized exchanges, right? So now we have to train them to do something different. So it's that's there's a hurdle there, um, and this is something I think part of the reason I agree with you that's why Coinbase is has their own wallet and doing stuff like that because they see the demand, but also there's a regulatory reason because all of the and you guys probably speak to this, but like all of the laws and regulations surround custody, and if you're not custodying the crypto, there's less you have to comply with. So if you're just providing the wallet, whereas the user has custody and has the keys, you don't have to register as a VASP or an MSB, a virtual asset service provider or a money service business. And like that's what Coinbase and Binance has to do and get all those licenses. And whereas like a startup like BiorLabs, you don't wanted that. You don't have to do that. And so you can avoid having those licenses by not having custody and providing these DeFi solutions where you don't have custody. And so I think even the big boys like Coinbase see this as like, this is in Robinhood as well, like they see this as a really cheap way. We don't have to comply with all these regulations if we encourage people to have self-custody and access DeFi. And just cuts out like so much red tape, so much compliance, and they can, get stuff to market quicker. So I think that's a big reason why even the centralized exchanges are pushing more towards DeFi because it's just they can cut out all the compliance, all the red tape, dealing with that. So I'm curious, BiorLabs, if you guys, is that how you look at it too? Is that how setting up your app to avoid all those regulations? Is that the way you've looked at it?
Well, I have some bad news for you. And it's basically when we started the project, we're like, okay, we need to incorporate And then we started looking at all the regions. Initially, we wanted to incorporate like, say, in Europe or in the USA, and then we quickly, like very quickly, we came to a realization that we will need licenses because there are too many laws that are, they're writing out way too many laws, and it would be there's too much like uncertainty about what is happening in certain places. Like we don't know if in the future we're gonna, like, let's say we're incorporated in the USA and then they start requiring licenses, and we can't afford to move out of the US and we can't afford to get the licenses. We're screwed, right? That's number one. Number
Or
two,
Mika in the EU, for example.
yeah, and for the EU, right? But number two, it's the fact that even regions like Dubai, they're now requiring licenses if you want to create a wallet. And the VASP license, you would be surprised to learn that in more and more regions, if you're a crypto wallet, you're going to need to have that license if you want to incorporate there and offer your service there. The only reason we don't need it is because we incorporated in Panama. So it's very how can I explain it? So if you incorporate in a specific region, you have to follow their rules because you incorporated there. So your business falls under their laws. So for example, if you incorporate in Canada and Canada requires licenses or some sort of registrations to run this kind of business, then you're going to need them. So for us, we incorporated in Panama and now we don't need any of these licenses and we can offer our service internationally. And the way it works is if, for example, we don't, as long as, and this is very strict, we're not allowed to like geographically target any specific like country, right? This is where we can get into legal trouble because we don't have any licenses. So we're not allowed to, let's say, buy banners in Europe or like put posters in Canada or whatever, right? We can only advertise generally in the internet. And when people come to us, I forgot the legal term for it, but there's like a term for it where it's like clients are coming to you on their own free will, right? You're not like going for them or targeting them specifically. So under that specific rule, we're allowed to like operate. And of course, if at some point we have too many Canadian users or too many European users, the regulators will come knocking and be like, hey, you need to, register in Canada because you have too many Canadian users. Otherwise, you're going to have to leave. And that's usually how it goes. And then we will have, and hopefully by then we're going to have like the funds to do all of the legal framework, right? Because if we're so big that the government comes sees us and tells us, hey, you need to register now, then that means we have the funds to do it. And by then we'll probably be like registered way before that happens, right? Because our goal is to always be like ahead of the market, and that also counts like on an illegal front. So, if we have a lot of extra funds and we're like, okay, what do we want to do? Well, number one, we want to secure our business in all these different jurisdictions.
Okay, so you think all these wallets are eventually going to have to register as a VASP somewhere, wherever they're located?
Sorry, can you ask again?
You think all the crypto wallets out there eventually are going to have to be registered as a VASP in order to?
Oh yes, 100%, 100%.
Okay.
I'm not even like, in my opinion, it's not even a question because, well, number one, Dubai has done it where you need some sort of registration if you want to create a wallet, but also, and a lot of people don't notice that because in THORChain we have Thor Wallet and they offer like these banking features. People don't realize that if Thor Wallet offers those features, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm willing to bet that they have some sort of banking license. And I'd be lying to say I'm not. If I'm a little jealous of that they have this pretty cool license. It gives them extra access.
Oh yeah, if you're dealing with fiat, I think you definitely need a license some way, shape, or form. Yeah, totally. Okay, interesting. I thought they're going to start. This is the thing. This is how the regulators are going to capture crypto. Then I thought the wallets would be able to get by it. I mean, well, in theory, you could still create a wallet. I'm trying to think.
Wallet extensions and
like
computers. It's just mobile. The only thing they can regulate is mobile wallets.
Exactly, because the Play Store and the App Store is going to self-regulate it, right?
Yeah.
But like if you have like a actual, download a program on your computer, like Asgard X, for example, like they wouldn't be able to go after that.
Or the Monero
right?
DOI wallets. What are they going to
Yeah.
do? Ban the code? Like they can't do anything.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to open source wallets, right? Like, what are they going to do? The wallet is open source. You can't, and I've always said this and I've always thought this, right? So in crypto, we say the only way to really stop Like crypto cannot be stopped because it's decentralized, right? That's the way we maintain freedom, is by making it decentralized. Well, what about wallets and interfaces, right? Because these are centralized parts. Is there a way to make those unstoppable? The easy way is just to make them open source. If they're open source, it's impossible for them to be like stopped or blocked or banned, right? Of course, the issue there becomes is you're not competitive anymore. So, uh, yeah, maybe one day we want to make BiorLabs as, open source to some extent, but it's very hard. Like, because even for me, someone who's really about, oh, I love open source stuff. I want to do something that's open source. Like someday I want to do like a big contribution and make it open source. I still understand that for an app like BiorLabs to make it open source would be suicide, because the whole like model of how wallets work and they make their revenue, if it's open source, like you're no longer competitive. Like as soon as you make it open source, you're no longer competitive. People can just like copy paste, and if someone, like for example, any influencer who has like for example a very big following can just copy paste your wallet, and they have a bigger following than you. Boom, now they're more popular, and maybe there people are gonna call you the copycat, even though you were the original one, just because the other one got bigger. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely a two-edged sword on that case, because obviously in DeFi we want everything to be open source. We want is free world of code that any project can build on, like add on to other projects and all of that. So I would say like it's definitely like open source code is definitely needed to like the extent that we can allow it to, in order to be able to run organizations or run projects on chain, right? So THORChain, for example, is a perfect example of open source code and how that's necessary to build this ecosystem and expand this ecosystem. Because if it were an open code, then it wouldn't be as accessible, and it would be hard to scale, right? But in our case, that is like we have such a like definitive use case, and we are a specific project utilizing like all of these different solutions, and we have built something all in one. There is nothing to gain from us open sourcing it as of now, but again, because both me and Ascender, we're coming from the DeFi space, the THORChain community. We love the ideology of open sourcing and decentralization and all of that. So that's also what Ascender was saying, that at some point we would love to be able to contribute and give back when it comes to open source code. And that could be like when we scale, like years from now, or maybe not so long time. We want to be able to do something where you can, let's say, for example, extend on the Vault technology and create something out of that, and stuff like that. So that's what we believe the open source is really like, the ideology of just making everything open source. That we really believe that the value there can, like, it's limitless. But just as of now, and the status that we're at now, and the conditions that we are working under, it wouldn't make sense to make it open source as of now. But like, definitely the dream in the future would be to just build something amazing like THORChain, just put it out there, and just let any big brain dev create something even more out of it. So that's how we want it to be, for sure.
Remember, the value's in your users, in your network, right? Like Bitcoin is open source, and people. Right, this is always the argument against Bitcoin. Well, I can copy and paste Bitcoin and create my own. It's like, yeah, but you can't recreate the network of people.
Exactly.
So, right, if you guys get a network of users and people on BiorLab, yeah, competitor can copy and paste your code, but they can't copy and paste your people, your network that you created, right? So,
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, we open source can always be like a thing that we do later on once we're more established, right? But yeah, I do agree with what you just said.
Yeah, it makes sense when as you're building. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, Paige. No, go ahead, Paige.
Well, I was just going to agree. It's just, in the beginning stages when you are growing, not being open source in the beginning makes sense because you're surrendering your competitive advantage immediately, which makes sense. I mean, I think you guys are really onto something here. based on everything we asked, right? And I'm really excited. And this is kind of because you guys are people who've been following THORChain. I mean, it's like one shared ecosystem, right? BiorLabs, everyone listening here, and I think really this is the power. And I'm really excited what you guys are doing, and you're only going to help make our shared ecosystem even bigger. And it's interesting how everything connects. So super excited for what you guys are doing. Really cool. And I do plan on using it myself. And I'm not saying that just to impress. Like I actually I know a reason why I would do this. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that BiorLabs is very much delivering on is going to be the fact that I remember everyone was always saying, like, in THORChain, we want to have the people are going to be using THORChain without even knowing it, right? And I think this is where BiorLabs comes in. We're going to offer this like very smooth user experience. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, you should go on our Twitter, and we frequently post screenshots of our app. It's a very smooth user experience, and people are going to be using it. I think it's going to grow to the point where it's going to be bigger. Like, as a brand name, it's going to be very big, and people who are going to be using it, they're not even going to need to understand cross-chain or how it works. They don't even need to know the name THORChain, and they're just going to be using it. And so we are directly delivering on that idea of the THORChain philosophy.
I think that's our biggest defense, right? Is you make the shared ecosystem. There's so many interconnected pieces that the network itself becomes so valuable, right? That this is the ultimate catalyst against, over regulation or overbearing, bureaucrats. It's if you get rid of this, it becomes so adopted, so ubiquitous that there's a huge defense, not only from the average person who uses it, but from people high up in itself. Because what we're building here is truly, truly powerful, truly incredible stuff.
I have a question about BiorLabs, your future. Have you thought about developing a point of sale? Like, you want to capture the whole user experience, and you're making it easy for people to spend their crypto with the debit cards. Have you thought about trying to get your app into like restaurants and convenience stores, bars, what have you?
Yeah, we did think about that, but we think it's a different feature. Like, how do I put it? We want to build the app, finish the mainnet app, get it out there, and like this is one of these things that's like in the roadmap. Later we can explore it, but for now I think it would be too much for us to do that. As like, if you look at the app and everything we're trying to offer, there's just way too many features. And I remember when I first started the project and I was trying to raise money, because at first we didn't want to do a fair launch. We were trying to raise. The same thing I get from everyone is, you guys are trying to do way too many things. You're gonna burn yourselves. Like, you're trying to do so many different features. It's not gonna work. And we were like, what are you talking about? Of course it's going to work, because we're not building everything from scratch. These are APIs, but still, that's the feedback we kept getting. And it's true to some extent, to the point where, we can't just keep adding more things. And what you just said is very, very true. And I think it would be like one of the one of the ways for us maybe to create more revenue, or to grow our brand name, is if we can get BiorLabs in like different shops. But the thing is, when it comes to that, we're probably gonna have to release it as a different product. Like, it's not gonna be under the Bior Vault name. It's gonna be maybe under the BiorLabs name, um, probably for regulatory purposes. And yeah, but we're definitely gonna be exploring that. I thought about it a lot, and this is definitely something that I personally want to do in the future. If not with this brand, then regardless, I want to do it on a separate project or within the same projects.
I think any business gets a strong base before they go and venture out, and doing new
Yeah.
primitives. So I think that makes sense. We do have a speaker up here. I guess someone wants to ask a question. S Crypto, if you want to test your mic and then state your question, that'd be awesome. I'm going to give you a few more seconds to do it. S Crypto, please check your mic. Otherwise, we have to move on. I cannot understand you. Please, you are not audible. Fix your mic, please. I'm going to give you a few more seconds.
Good evening.
I can't hear you. 2 more seconds. All right, we're going to move on. Kenton, were you trying to say something? Oh, wait.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. No. Guys, is there anything about BiorLabs that you want to talk about that we haven't? Oh.
Working.
I can hear you. I
Yeah,
can't see you.
Oh,
I
that's
just
cool.
added them
Yeah.
back. Yeah, I got mini
Yeah, I
Rug
think you
too.
guys removed me by accident.
No,
You kicked me out by accident.
we would never
Uh,
do that.
is there anything that you guys want to talk about that we haven't brought up yet? Anything else you want
Yes.
to highlight?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is like towards the end of the live, so I did want to say we are planning to do an NFT giveaway on the app launch, but it's going to be a giveaway. We're not selling it, and the reason is one, why I'm keeping it for the end, and two, we're not selling it is because we don't want to use it for hype. This is an NFT we want to use just to give it to the community, like to be sort of one, a collectible, and to create value where people who believe in our project and people who have been supporting us can have this NFT. It's going to be a supply of like 75 NFTs. It's very low supply and it's going to have a very specific utility. So what it's going to do is we're going to have a referral program where people can, invite other people and then get a percentage of the fees, right? They get a commission. We're going to call it a cashback basically instead of a commission. And if you have the NFT, you would get like a very big boost, like a 50% boost minimum, where you're going to get if you have. So basically, if someone trades on our app, you would get 50% of the fee we make from that person, right? So, and this NFT is going to be like to incentivize our initial community to like spread the word because they get such a high cashback. And it's going to be the commission is going to be there for a very long time. So, this is like it's sort of like having your own little business if you have this NFT where you can like share referral to the app and anyone who uses it you start making what's it called, what's the word like all of these finance gurus say, um it's like revenue. I
Commission?
forgot the word. No, there's a word when they say like yeah, passive income, that's like
There you go.
you're gonna make like passive income because anyone who that person, let's say you refer 10 people, any one of those people, as long as they're swapping, you're making money. So that's going to be the selling point of the NFTs. And we will make this feature available to the token holders, but we are gatekeeping it for the NFT. So if you want to use tokens to have this feature, you're going to have to be like a whale because, if you're a whale, of course, we're going to give them the access to that feature. Let's say you have 1 million. I don't remember the exact number. I'm trying to look it up right now. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries. I'll give you some time to figure that out. And there
Yeah.
actually is no minimum time on these spaces. We actually go as long as the juices are flowing, the cadence is good. We keep going. More or less, I get nervous about your guys' time, but honestly, I think it takes a couple hours at least to just constantly back and forth and talking with someone. For people to get a sense of the man behind the microphone or woman behind the microphone, right? And you guys have done absolutely fantastic. I love your product.
Yeah, I'm using a voice changer, by the way. I'm actually a woman. Just saying.
Rug pull, bro. No,
Yeah,
I don't like that. I change everything I said.
I'm
You're not
trolling, bro. I'm trolling. But yeah, I mean, I can't find the number for some reason because I think the documents were modified and maybe it was removed. But the number, I believe it was around 1 million tokens because for us it was like 0.1% of the supply. And we're like, look, at some point, if you hold that much supply, we sort of owe you this, we owe you access to any gate kept feature where you can have the referral thing. But yeah, I think it's cool because I've never seen anyone do this. Where like, okay, we have an NFT, but the NFT is like sort of a referral boost. And the NFT is also going to get like free access to tier one in the app, but that's it. It's not going to get any of the extra benefits that are only for the BYB. And also, in our app for the token, people will not have to stake the token. People hate staking their token. I hate staking to my token. So it's going to be holding. If you just hold the token, you're going to have like all the benefits. So if you just hold BYB, you're going to get like all the features that you need, right? So by features, I mean all the exclusive perks. And if I want to make a short list, I did send one recently to our holders group chat, and it basically went like gas tank. So we're gonna have a gas tank. We're gonna be able to pay your network fees in BYB. We're gonna give cashback. So yeah, if you have basically, we're gonna have a cashback system inside the app where. When the more volume you do, the higher cashback you're gonna get, and if you stake BYB, you're also gonna get like a no, sorry, not stake. If you hold BYB, you're gonna get a bonus cashback access, and you're gonna get like advanced notifications, advanced analytics on certain token, custom price alert system. So we have a very advanced custom price alert system in the app. This is something we didn't even talk about. Like the app is so big, And one of the very big features that I know is going to be used a lot is custom price alert. You know, right now, I remember when Blockfolio or something was out. It was like the FTX. FTX had this app where it was a crypto portfolio tracker. It was called Blockfolio, and they had an advanced notification system, and everyone loved it. It was so big. I was using it, and then FTX went down. Blockfolio went down, and now no one uses it. And somehow, I don't know how, but none of the competitors, portfolio trackers, thought that, wait, why don't we implement the notification system that Blockfolio had? I mean, it was so popular. Why don't we do that? Nope, none of them even thought about it. But we're gonna do it because our app, although it's a wallet, we're also competing with portfolio trackers directly. And it's not exactly to their detriment because we literally use API points to their app, so they still make money. So you know they shouldn't feel threatened by us, at least for now. You know, at some point we want to make our own data, and then they should be scared. But for now, we're all friends.
I like your design of just holding the token and getting the rewards. I actually think that's pretty good. You just remove a whole, you just abstract away a whole layer of friction. I'm curious, do you have any perks for the amount of time that you hold the token, like a tier system, like if you hold it for a year or something, or it's just the moment you have the token, you get the perks?
Yeah, we don't want to incent like we. It's not about the time because what we want to incentivize the most is like in the app, you're going to see a lot of the things. For example, for the cashback, if you have high volume, you're going to get you're going to get like some extra cashback. Like there's a tier system for volume. Because we want to incentivize volume. For the token, we are creating a tier system where depending on the tier, you get an extra boost. But that is just a sort of a gift to the community. But we're not going to gatekeep that behind oh, you need to hold it for a certain period of time because then, most people who buy the token are not necessarily going to keep it for that long. And people should be free to buy and sell the token. I don't like it when I buy a token and they're like, oh, well, how dare you just buy it for a certain period of time and then you want to sell it? You don't get access to anything. It's like, there's no need for any of that. And I remember when I was on Cardano a long time ago, I was on the Cardano chain and I was so surprised how like you could do everything in the token, you just hold it. Like you don't need to stake it. I'm like, what? This is so much better than like on Ethereum where you have to stake everything. But of course, like we need to realize this is not because Ethereum doesn't allow it. It's just because people who build on Ethereum tend to make it staking, like you have to stake. Meanwhile, in Cardano, it's like within their community where it's like standard to have it no staking. You just need to hold the token. So yeah, I wanted to bring that to Ethereum. I think that was like really cool.
Yeah, interesting. I like that. Oh, BiorLabs, are you trying to say something? Oh, maybe it's just a glitch on my end.
Yeah, he's unmuted.
Okay, yeah, no big deal. All right, Kenton, do you have any other questions or anything like that? I'm trying to think of something else here.
No, I'm good. We can, if BiorLabs wants, we can start wrapping it up.
Yeah, is there anything
Yeah,
else,
we can
guys?
wrap it up. Well,
Nothing.
yeah, well, if you're interested in the NFT and creating that sort of little passive income, feel free to follow us, and we're gonna do this giveaway for everyone who's like some of our biggest holders. Sorry, not holders. The first users, people who are going to do a lot of feedback, help us find all the bugs, perfect the app. We're going to be giving away the NFT. Once again, we don't want to make it like a farming thing. I don't want to. I hate it when like they do it like a project does an NFT giveaway or an airdrop, and it becomes like, oh, you can farm it just so we can get more like publicity. Although I understand it's good marketing, we have our own marketing campaigns that are separate, and then we have the NFT is like for real community value. I think these things should be separated in a project like BiorLabs, and they are separated. So yeah, just if you're interested, you should stay around for launch, and we're gonna do extra like some of our token holders, people who hold like 1 million BYB. We have a group chat with them. We have like more than 50 people, and those people usually get like earlier access to the app. So if you're early access, you're going to be able to provide feedback earlier. You're going to be, and if we see you're a strong community member, you're more likely to get that NFT. So it's not about grinding. It's more just about you're present, you're supporting us. So yeah, if you're interested, definitely check that out.
Could you qualify if someone was interested? How in what ways would they show themselves to be a strong community member? Could you just give some examples?
Well, Yeah, of course. Well, number one, well, right now we have the Telegram open, but actually I'd suggest going to Discord because we are Discord right now. It's not like operational, as in we are not actively using it, and it doesn't have a lot of users. However, very soon Discord will become the hub of our project when it comes to testing the app, updating the app, etc. Telegram is going to be like for the token holders, and Discord is going to be for the app users. So sorry, if you go in Discord and we see that you're an active member on Discord, this is like immediately like you're gonna immediately get like early access, and you're immediately like very likely to get the NFT because we see, okay, this is someone who is interested in what we're building. Compared to Telegram, it's more like these are token holders, people who invest in the token. It's a separate target audience, right? We really wanted to separate that, and because also the communication style is going to be different, the campaigns we're going to run are going to be different, and lastly, if you really want to like lock in your place, if you get 1 million tokens, we have a group chat on Telegram, the holders group chat, and in that group chat, you basically get early access on everything. So that's also another way to guarantee a spot. And once again, if you have a KOL, or you're a KOL and you know that you can bring a lot of volume, well, you have a lot to gain. Even so, like you can contact us and maybe we can arrange something. You know, to properly reward the KOLs who are going to boost us from the start, that are going to help us grow.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think this has been a wonderful space. I think what you guys are building is great. You answered all the questions fantastic. And I think you guys are very pragmatic and you follow first principles very well in the design, in your ultimate goal and your roadmap. So I commend you. Well done.
Thank you. I'm just curious what you think of the NFT, because it was actually my idea and I thought it was a little clever. I don't know. Do you think it was a like to make this NFT sort of like the KOL thing where you buy it and it's your referral boost, the biggest referral boost you can get, where you get high commissions, and it creates this sort of value where people are going to be actually, they will want to buy the NFT not because for speculation purposes, but just because, oh well, I'm going to use the commission thing.
I think it's a fine idea, and I am by no means an NFT expert, but like in anything, there's always the measure do no harm, right? And that doesn't do any harm whatsoever, and it's only for engagement of your community. So I think it's great. I mean, just go for it, right? And see what happens. And BiorLabs getting very popular, and I know your popularity is going to increase after this space for sure. Yeah, I think it's a fine idea.
Yeah, it's cool because
All right,
it's
thank you. Well,
the referrer, the KOL, like they could sell that NFT if they want. They could sell like the future potential cash flows, right? So that's what creates a market for these NFTs. That is interesting.
yeah, exactly. That's what I thought about. I'm like, look, you want to maybe you have a network and you use that network, and after you've exhausted your network, like, well, I don't need the NFT anymore. You can sell it, and someone else is gonna buy it, benefit from it, and we're probably gonna have like a royalty tax on the volume, just because. Well, look, we are sort of giving a free NFT. We are sort of giving free utility, so we might as well, charge a tax and make some revenue on the royalty. But that's gonna be it.
Yeah, understandable. And obviously you guys are very forthcoming with information, and that's always the important thing. Because Kenton and I, we don't kiss the butts of projects that come up here. We believe in protecting our community and anyone who happens to listen to this, and we're not afraid to ask hard questions. And if we detect that someone was like a scam or whatever, this space would last 10 minutes, right? But of course, that's nothing to do with you guys. I think this is great. I think it's a great idea. So kudos to you. Okay, real last, is there anything else whatsoever you guys want to cover, Kenton, or anyone else before we wrap?
Well, I should actually put a disclaimer to what you just said. We're not. I didn't pre-vet BiorLabs or anyone else we have on. It's all buyer beware. This isn't recommendation by or Patriot. This is we're giving them a venue to. We're learning the same as everyone else listening. So yeah, put that disclaimer to what you just said.
Yes, of
I
course.
do want to add that we are a docs team. We are fully doxed with Ascensum. No, not Ascensum. Sorry, they're called Assure DeFi. We did a full KYC with them. The information on their website uses our old Telegram accounts and our old website, and but it's still us. Like essentially, what Assure DeFi is they're basically saying we KYC teams, and if they ever rug or scam you, you come to us, and we have all the legal information on them to pursue them. So that's basically. So we did do a full doxed KYC with them. So there's that. But yeah, the information is outdated, and they were asking for a fee. We were like, look, we're not going to pay a fee to get it updated. We don't think it's fair, so we didn't do that. However, we're still a docs team, so you can check that out if you're interested.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, Kenton, anything else before we wrap?
That's great. No, wrap it up. Thanks, BiorLabs. Really good. It's really your debit card is super interesting. I'm sure that's going to get traction. People are going to be interested in that. So yeah, it's great learning about you. Thank you.
Excellent job,
Yeah,
guys.
great to be here, man.
Yes, so glad to have you guys, and maybe we should do a follow-up space after a little while just to see how you guys are progressing, because I love what you guys are doing. And for those who are listening to the recording of this and they can't see, you have been listening to BiorLabs, and on X the tag is at BiorLabs, BiorLabs. And Goatski, the other one, the at tag is Bior Bank. Again, they are not a bank. You should not think of them as a bank. It's just the tag, and it's
I'm gonna
SBIOR.
update my tag.
Yeah, let's try
It's
to
gonna
find
be
it.
Ghosty.
Okay,
No, it's because
yeah.
I needed to keep the old domain because we rebranded, and I couldn't just leave the Beer Bank Twitter name open. Someone could steal it, create scams, and some of our old partners were still directing to the Beer Bank name. But I'm gonna update it. It's gonna be Goatski, so maybe that's the one you should be putting out.
There you
But yeah,
go.
for now it's
Okay.
Beer Bank. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, cool, man. So that'll be at symbol GOATSKEY. This has been a fantastic space. I really loved this. It was awesome. Guys, please follow their accounts. And then for next week, we are going to have the Mocha team. And then thereafter, we are going to have a Volti-Sig. So at the end of November. So guys, tune in for that. It's going to be really good spaces we have. Again, guys, thank you so very much. This has been a fantastic space. I had a lot of fun. Particularly, we had the alarm, your little fire alarm and everything. So hilarious speech. I had a great time. It was so much fun. So everyone, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Everyone, take care. Bye now.
You too. Have a
Take
good
care,
one.
man. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for having us. Bye.